So here's something that we don't do anymore as a society that we need to get better at. And this is something that we have trouble doing, and that is entertaining ideas without accepting them and giving people the space to entertain ideas without accepting them. And this is so important because if you don't allow people to just play around with ideas in their mind, even, fucked up, twisted, sick ideas, or anything on the spectrum. If you don't allow people the space in their minds to talk about things and entertain things without accepting them as fact and accepting them as ideology, we're losing the ways in which we have conversations about things that we need to have conversations about. So, for example, uh, defund the police is on everyone's mind right now, and it seems like people are either 100% on board with defund the police or 0% on board with defund the police. And it's like this black and white thing. But I've seen probably 9 different plans on what defunding the police would look like and what that would entail. And that is an example of an idea that you should be able to entertain without fully accepting and going into the nuance of, you know, does defund the police mean that you're going to take everything away from the police? Does it mean that you're going to redirect some resources? Are police, are you going to get rid of the bad police? Are you going to spend more money training police that are competent and that can become good officers? Are you going to increase the average number, the average amount of money spent on each police officer by getting rid of the other police officers? What will the training look like? All of these things. And it's like people take your surface level opinion, which is defund the police is good and defund the police is bad, and then they stop listening to what you're saying after that, because it's like, if you don't have the same surface level view that I have, I'm not going to allow you to entertain that idea. I'm not going to listen to the nuance of the idea. I'm not. It's black and white. Either you're on board or you're not. There's no room to say, well, do you want to defund the police? Yes and no. There are aspects of it that I agree with. There are aspects that I don't agree with. And I don't need to subscribe to a movement or a strict ideology to symbolize my willingness to accept something. Or I feel like a lot of people are doing a very surface level a surface level uh, kind of dance where you don't want people to think that you feel a certain way, so you subscribe to an ideology without actually digging into it, like defund the police. There are a lot of people that have no idea what that means. I don't even know if the person that came up with the idea knows what defund the police means, but we should be able to dig through that and dig deep into those ideas and talk about the nuance of both sides, and not always be so quick to say, okay, are you on board or are you not on board? Are you racist? Or are you not racist? Are you homophobic? Or are you not homophobic? Are you transphobic? Whatever it is, we should be able to explore both sides of a topic, and allow people to entertain the thought of something without then going on Twitter or announcing that this person is a racist. Just because you're talking about racism or entertaining a thought or talking about something that's dark or fucked up doesn't mean that you're necessarily a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a dark or fucked up person. And you can't be introspective. You can't open up conversation if you're not willing to entertain thoughts that are potentially wrong or potentially harmful. Not every idea that you have is going to be great and worth accepting in the long term, but you have to get used to entertaining different ideas, different thought patterns. Even one of my favorite things to do on a podcast is to just take the other side, even if I don't agree with it, to kind of play devil's advocate and say, okay, like, I agree with defund the police, but let's just say if defund the police isn't the answer, what would that look like? If society was going to be better without defunding the police, what would that look like? If less black people were going to die without defunding the police, what would that answer look like? Even if you believe in that the answer is defunding the police, and same thing with the other side. If you think the answer is no, what would it look like if society was better if we did defund the police? And to kind of go back and forth so you can pick different things within the same argument and take the nuances, because both sides are going to be right about different things and both sides are going to be wrong without different things. So I think it's a healthy and great way, a healthy and great way to entertain ideas without accepting them is to just play the devil's advocate position. If you're so sure that you're right, what would the other side look like? Let's just pretend for 1 second that we're going to take the other side of the argument, to assume that you're wrong and think, okay, what is the answer to this? If 6 months down the line, if a year down the line, this solution worked out, what would that answer look like if mine was wrong and we didn't go with my side? So as a society, and I hold myself to this standard too, as a podcaster, we need to get better at being able to entertain thoughts, being able to entertain ideas, being able to play around and have like your mind and your conversations should be a playground that you can just fuck around with and think about things and say things to people without having immediate judgment or cancel culture. And I don't want to say that you shouldn't be held responsible for your speech, because you should, but I don't think there should be this surface level reaction of, okay, you don't agree with me, so I'm going to shut off everything you say. It should be more of, you don't agree with me, so I'm interested in what you're saying. My interest level is now peaked because you don't agree with me, and I want to find out why that is. I'm fascinated by this disagreement. I am not repulsed by it.